Here we have a workflow created as the user BW Lockley. We open the share workflow modal and we add a new user, being Blake@portant.co. We're now in the Gmail for Blake@portant.co, and we're just waiting for the emails to come through that show that we have shared our workflow and the resources within the workflow. So those resources include the outputs folder, this is where documents are created, the source file, this is where the data comes from, and the template file, this is how the data is presented. You'll also see we have an email, or these are the two resources, and you'll also see that we have an email saying that we've shared the workflow. So opening as the user Blake@portant.co, we're now in the shared workflow, and we're being prompted to provide the full drive scope. Without the drive scope, you can see that that Portant is unable to access the file itself. In the permissions page, you can see that we have not authorized the full drive scope yet. Returning to the workflow, we're once again prompted with that same modal that will ask us for the full drive scope. You can see here that we have the project's client ID in the URL, and we'll go ahead and provide that authorization. As you can see, we're now requesting the full drive scope. We'll go ahead and click allow, and now we'll attempt to start the automation again. You can see this time we are able to actually start the automation. Now that the automation is complete, we can see our new output. Going into the output, because we shared those resources through Google Drive, we can see that both users have access. Returning to the workflow and looking in the share settings again, we can see that BW Lockley is actually the owner, but Blake@portant.co was able to run the automation because they're using the full drive scope.